Hello and welcome to World News on Sook News Television. I am Olumide Shokoya. We begin with the headlines. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development has said Nigeria's mining sector is among Africa's top investment destinations. Nigerian Ports Authority (NPA) has unveiled plans to commence a $1 million reconstruction project for aging Apapa port. German government rejects Palestine recognition, backs negotiated peace framework. Immigration authorities in U.S. reveals 55 million visa holders under new vetting policy for possible violation. In the world of sports, Leeds United confirms signing of Switzerland international Noah Okafor from AC Milan in a deal worth £18 million. Peter. We begin with the first story. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, has described Nigeria's mining sector as one of the most attractive investment destinations on the African continent. Alake made this known on Thursday in Abuja at a press conference ahead of the 10th annual Nigerian Mining Week, scheduled to hold from October 13th to 2025, with the theme Nigeria Mining from Progress to Global Relevance, represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Farouk Yusuf Yabo. The minister said the government is committed to ensuring that the solid mineral sectors contribute significantly to Nigeria's gross domestic product, GDP, create jobs, and promote community development. He added that the ministry is also focused on embedding global best practices in environmental, social, and governance standards to ensure sustainable growth. Alake assured potential investors that ongoing reforms will provide transparent and enabling environment for mining, positioning Nigeria as a global force in the minerals and mining industry. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC) says it has concluded a case-by-case review of marginal field licenses due for renewal in a move to deepen transparency and strengthen the development of Nigeria's hydrocarbon resources. Commission Chief Executive Engineer Gbenga Komalafe disclosed this in Abuja during his address at the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior South Association of Nigeria (PEGASIN) Energy and Labour Summit, PILS 2025. Speaking on the exercise, Komalafe noted that the review was part of the Commission's effort to create a more competitive and accountable upstream sector. He stressed that the initiative aligns with the government's broader goal of maximizing value from oil and gas assets while ensuring sustainability. The summit themed Building a Resilient Oil and Gas Sector in Nigeria, Advancing HSE, ESG Investment and Incremental Production, brought together industry stakeholders to discuss strategies for navigating global energy transitions and securing long-term growth in Nigeria's petroleum industry. Now, the Nigerian Ports Authority (NPA) has unveiled plans to commence a $1 million reconstruction project for the aging Apapa and Tinkan Island ports in Lagos beginning next quarter. The rehabilitation marks the first major attempt to restore the facilities in decades. Apapa Port, commissioned 103 years ago, and Tinkan Island Port, now 48 years old, have both suffered from long-standing neglect and deteriorating infrastructure. While the NPA's move signals intent to modernize Nigeria's maritime gateways, the authority also highlighted a crippling $2 billion funding shortfall that has stalled the development of new deep sea ports. This deficit, officials said, threatens Nigeria's competitiveness as regional rivals continue to expand capacity. The NPA admitted that investor hesitation remains a key challenge, with many private players discouraged by cargo diversion to neighboring countries and concerns over low returns on investment. Now, the authorities stressed that the bridging this gap will be critical to securing Nigeria's position in the West African shipping market. The federal government has unveiled the Biosin Fly project, an initiative projected to save between 18 billion naira and 24 billion naira annually by reducing official air travel costs. The scheme, spearheaded by the Federal Ministry of Finance, introduces a centralized technology-enabled booking platform for ministries, departments, and agencies. The system is expected to streamline travel arrangements, eliminate inefficiencies, and secure discounted fares through bulk bookings. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edu, disclosed the plan on Tuesday in Abuja. He emphasized that the project is aimed at instilling cost discipline and accountability in government spending. Edu urged the implementation team to work swiftly and ensure that the system delivers on its objectives, stressing that the project represents a crucial step in optimizing public resources. The Biosin Fly project is part of a broader fiscal reforms to enhance transparency, curb waste, and ensure value for money in government operations. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has inspected the mid-level agro-food hub under the construction at Abijo, Sangotedo, and Etiosa local government area, with the project confirmed to be over 90% complete. The hub, which sits on a 23,000 square meter site, is being developed by Origin Tech Group as part of efforts to modernize food distribution in Lagos. When fully operational, it will feature state-of-the-art storage facilities, trading floors, and spacious parking to ensure efficient market operations and reduce post-harvest losses. According to the governor, the facility will enhance access to fresh produce for residents in Sangotedo and neighboring communities while strengthening Lagos' decentralized food market system. He emphasized that the initiative aligns with the state's strategy to improve food security, reduce supply chains, challenge and create opportunities for farmers and traders. Sanwo-Olu assured that the project would soon be commissioned. The Central Eastern European and West African Business Association, CIWABA, has said the European markets are increasingly receptive to Nigerian fashion and textile. Founder and president of CIWABA, Michael Dada, disclosed this at the inaugural Agro-EU Garment Innovation and Sustainability Summit held in Lagos on Thursday. The event, themed Bridging Continents Through Fashion, Technology and Cultural Exchange, was organized by CIWABA in partnership with Women in Fashion Tech. Dada explained that the summit was part of CIWABA's ongoing initiatives to connect Nigerian and African clothing brands with European markets while promoting cultural exchange through fashion. According to him, demand for authentic African prints, innovative designs, and sustainable fabrics is growing rapidly in Europe, presenting a valuable opportunity for Nigerian designers and manufacturers. He stressed the need for stakeholders to leverage technology, sustainability, and strategic partnerships to position Nigeria fashion as a global brand. The summit featured panel discussions, exhibitions, and networking sessions aimed at strengthening cross-continental collaborations. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue with more stories. Stay tuned.
Interest in Nigeria's lithium reserves comes as countries worldwide scramble to secure supplies of the mineral, which is essential for powering the green energy revolution. In this special report by Dele Alake, the need to harness this resource for growth and development is examined, with the evolution of electric vehicles and renewable energy storage systems. Lithium is a key component in the production of batteries for electric electric vehicles and renewable energy storage systems, and Nigeria is positioning itself to become a major player in the global lithium market. Nigeria's vast lithium reserves, valued over $34 billion, is no doubt attracting world attention, while lithium factories are springing up in different parts of Nigeria already. The attention of the international mining industry is also focused on lithium because it is critical raw material for the production of solar panels and electric vehicles. Analysts predict that global lithium market could grow robustly over the next decade, driven by the rapid adoption of electric vehicles and renewable energy technologies. Data from a global future market insight showed that the lithium mining industry has emerged as a cornerstone of the clean energy transition, driven by the skyrocketing demand for lithium-ion batteries. The surge in lithium demand is driven largely by the electric vehicles market, which accounted for over 70% of the global lithium consumption in 2024, according to an Iranian-based research firm. With countries such as the United States, China, and members of the European Union pushing for next zero emission by mid-century, lithium demand is expected to escalate further. The federal government, indeed, the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, should intensify efforts geared at renewing and resuscitating the viable lithium industry in the country to its full potential. As Nigeria diversifies its economy into other sectors, the lithium industry offers hope and expectation that this sector would earn more revenue for the country. Nigeria should not just watch with folded arms, but must strive with the political will to develop and strengthen the country's vast lithium reserves.
For more than a century, Zambia has stood as a prominent figure in the mining sector, particularly renowned for its copper production, which remains a cornerstone of the nation's economy. Accounting for 3/4 of the country's export earnings, mining plays a pivotal role in Zambia's economic landscape. The focal point of this mining activity is the Copper Belt province, home to major copper mines like Lumwana and Konkola, alongside Sentinel in the northwestern province. These mines, operated by renowned international firms such as Barrick and Vendetta Resources, hold majority foreign ownership, with Zambia Consolidated Copper Mine Investment Holdings retaining minority stakes. Smaller mines in the Copper Belt region, backed by investors from countries like China, Brazil, and South Africa, contribute to Zambia's diversified mining landscape. However, the country's mining sector faces various challenges, hindering the potential growth trajectory. Fiscal policies introduced by the government, including royalty increases, the taxation policies, have negatively impacted mining profitability. Also, price volatility in global markets, infrastructural deficiencies like inadequate transportation networks, power shortages, and an uncertain regulatory environment further increases the sector's challenges. Moreover, labor disputes, safety concerns, and geopolitical risks stemming from political instability poses additional hurdles to Zambia's mining sector. To propel the nation towards its 3 million tons copper production goal, strategic measures are crucial, and these include leveraging digital technology through partnerships with AI and machine learning firms to enhance sector's efficiency and investment, stable policy framework in order to attract and retain investment, and provision of a conducive regulatory environment. Infrastructure strengthening supported by donor funding and concessional financing can also alleviate critical constraints such as transportation and power shortages. More so, environmental conservation is vital for sustainable development. Hence, mining companies must provide government-approved environmental management plans, prioritize durable equipment, and proper waste disposal techniques to minimize environmental degradation. Giving copper's expected dominance in Zambia's exports, maintaining its position as Africa's economic hub demands a concerted effort. Israel Adeyemi, Souk News.
Welcome back to the World News on Souk News Television. Let's take more stories. The German government has confirmed that it will not recognize a Palestinian state at this time, stressing that the premature recognition would hinder progress towards a negotiated two-state solution with Israel. Officials stated that the recognition should only occur at the conclusion of direct peace talks, not before, as acting otherwise would be counterproductive. This position underscores Berlin's prioritization of long-term diplomatic stability over symbolic declarations as Germany continues to support negotiations as the foundation for peace in the Middle East. The decision also reflects a cautious stance amid global pressure, with several Western nations signaling conditional recognition of Palestine. Analysts say the move has wider economic implications as Germany remains one of Europe's largest trading partners with Israel and a key donor to Palestinian development. Maintaining balance in foreign policy is critical for Berlin, given its role in shaping European Union positions on Middle East peace and aid distribution. South Korea is moving to strengthen economic cooperation with China as tariff pressures from United States reshapes trade flows. President Lee Jae-myung will send a special delegation from Beijing from August 24 to 27 to deliver a message emphasizing closer strategic economic ties. The visit comes as Seoul seeks stability for industries heavily dependent on global market. China remains South Korea's largest trading partner, and improved relations since 2017 are now central to both nations' growth strategies. South Korea recently negotiated a reduction of United States tariffs on its goods, but businesses still face higher costs and uncertainty. The planned talks with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi will focus on creating a stronger foundation for trade, investment, and technology cooperation that can cushion both economies from global disruptions. Beijing also is seeking to expand its export channels beyond the United States to reduce reliance on single consumer market. By deepening trade ties, South Korea and China aims to secure long-term growth, support industries such as manufacturing and technology, and stabilize regional supply chains. The engagement highlights the growing importance of developmental partnerships in sustaining economic resilience amid shifting global trade policies. China recorded a significant surge in rare earth minerals imports from United States in July, with shipments reaching 4,719 metric tons after dropping to zero the previous month. The development highlights ongoing structural changes in the rare earth supply chain as final exports from United States minor members of parliament materials were launched amid shifting trade policies and growing government interventions in critical minerals. The rise coincided with new investment from the United States Department of Defense in materials designed to reduce American reliance on Chinese processing. This shift reflects how industrial policies is increasingly shaping the rare earth market as government seeks to secure access to resources that power electric vehicles, renewable energy system, and advanced defense technologies. China is also reported a sharp 75.5% increase in the exports of rare earth magnets to the United States in the same period, underscoring the global dependence on Chinese refinery and manufacturing capacity. The figures illustrate how rare earth remains central to both economic development and strategic competition, making them a critical link in the global economy's transition towards clean energy and technology-driven growth. Taiwan President Lai Ching-te has set a target for defense spending to reach 5% of gross domestic product before 2030, positioning the increase not only as a security measure but also as a driver of industrial and technological development. The government confirmed that the next year's allocation will rise to 3.32% of gross domestic product, including new spending on the Coast Guard and other sectors under a model inspired by the North Atlantic Treaty. Officials say the expanded budget will channel investment into domestic productions, research and innovation. Taiwan already manufactures fighter jets, cruise missiles, and advanced naval equipment, and the push towards higher spending is expected to stimulate local industries, strengthen supply chains, and create skilled jobs. President Lai noted that the cooperation with international allies in technology development will be key to ensuring both defense and industrial growth. Economists view the plan as a dual strategy, countering China's increasing military pressure while enhancing Taiwan's long-term economic resilience. By tying national security to industrial advancement, Taipei is seeking to balance external threats with domestic growth, fostering a defense economy that underpins stability and wider development in Indo-Pacific region. The United States dollar traded close to a two-week high against the euro and sterling as investors reduced expectations of a sharp interest rate cut ahead of a key policy speech by Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. The euro slipped to $1,1597, while the sterling dropped to $1.348, both marking their lowest levels in 2 weeks. Market data showed traders now place a 73% chance of a 25 basis point cut in September, lower than 85% projected last week. Analysts say the stronger inflation readings and cautious remarks from Federal Reserve officials have reduced bets on immediate monetary easing. The dollar index, which tracks the currency against 6 global rivals, gained 0.1% to 98.71 and is set for a weekly rise of 0.9%. Investors now await Powell's speech at the Jackson Hole Conference, which could shape expectations for the direction of United States monetary policy. Consumer sentiment in the United Kingdom strengthened in August as households welcomed the Bank of England's recent interest rate cut, according to new data from market research firm GfK. The Consumer Confidence Index rose to -17 after -19 in June, reaching its highest level since December. The improvement was driven largely by a 3-point boost in how households view their personal finances. However, analysts caution that the rise in inflation, which climbed to 3.8% in July, and the prospect of tax increases in the autumn budget could weigh on optimism in the coming months. Savings confidence dropped by 4 points to +30, retreating from its strongest level since 2007. Experts say this reflects uncertainty as consumers adopt a wait-and-see approach, with sentiment vulnerable to sudden swings in response to economic shocks. Germany's economy and energy minister Katharina Reiche has stressed the urgent need for economic reforms after official data showed deeper than expected decline in gross domestic product in the second quarter. She said the figures highlight structural weaknesses that must be addressed to restore growth and competitiveness. Reiche outlined priority measures including flexible working hours, a cut in non-wage labor costs, reduced bureaucracy, and lower energy prices. She also urged the government to ease rather than increase corporate taxes, warning that businesses require stronger incentives to expand investments and create jobs. The minister emphasized that structural change is not optional, but essential for stabilizing Germany's growth outlook and sustaining jobs. Analysts say the country's ongoing economic weakness, combined with energy challenges and a shifting global market, makes the success of these reforms critical to maintaining its role as Europe's economic engine. We'll go on a short break now, and when we come back, we'll bring you more stories. Please stay tuned.
Welcome to the Africa Development Studies Center, ADSC. ADSC is an organization focused on training and research to advance sustainable development and growth in Africa. We exist to facilitate customized training, research, and study exchanges worldwide on leadership, management, and critical development issues. The center offers a platform for the exchange of ideas and best practices. Our comprehensive services encompass research, consultancy, capacity building, training, and education programs, as well as publishing and disseminating development-related knowledge. Our faculty consists of experts and researchers with extensive experience in policy formulation, implementation techniques, and monitoring and evaluation. Our methodology involves talks, individual and group exercises, games, video screenings, and discussion seminar sessions in a cozy atmosphere, making learning enjoyable for our participants. For more information, email us at info@adstudiescenter.com or call +234 912 039 2362. Visit our website at www.adstudiecenter.com to learn more about our programs and upcoming events. Africa Development Studies Center, rethinking development for Africa.
Nigerian leather industry has a storied history, particularly in the northern parts of the country, where the art of leather farming and crafting has been perfected over centuries. Traditionally, leather was used primarily for functional items like sandals, bags, and saddles, with little emphasis on fashion. However, the narrative has changed drastically in recent years as Nigerian leather has evolved from a utilitarian product to a symbol of luxury and high fashion. Here is a special report by Bayo Olaoye. The turning point for Nigerian leather came as local designers began to recognize its potential beyond traditional uses. They started to experiment with new designs, creating products that appeal to the modern consumer while maintaining the heritage of craftsmanship. The result has been a wave of leather products that are not only functional, but also stylish and desirable on the global stage. One of the key factors driving the revolution is the exceptional quality of Nigerian leather. Known for its durability and unique texture, Nigerian leather, particularly from goats and cattle, has become highly sought after by fashion houses both within and outside Africa. This demand has encouraged local artisans to up their game, focusing on quality control and finishing techniques to meet international standards. Moreover, Nigerian leather products have benefited from the global trend towards sustainable and ethically produced goods. Consumers are increasingly turning away from massively produced items in favor of the handcrafted, sustainable alternatives. Nigerian leather made using traditional methods with minimal environmental impact fits perfectly into this narrative. This has opened up markets for Nigerian leather goods, particularly in Europe and North America. where there is a growing appreciation for products with a story and a conscience. The rise of Nigerian leather on the fashion scene is also closely tied to the country's booming creative industry. Fashion designers, many of whom had gained international recognition, are incorporating leather into their collections and innovative ways, from sleek handbags and bespoke shoes to stylish jackets and accessories. The Nigerian leather is becoming a staple in high fashion. This trend is not only boosting the profile of Nigerian fashion, but also creating new opportunities for economic growth. The leather industry, once dominated by small-scale craftsmen, is now attracting significant investment. Entrepreneurs are setting up modern tannery and workshops, creating jobs and fostering skills development in the process. This industrialization of leather products is helping to formalize what was once an informal sector, leading to better working conditions and high incomes for artisans. However, the success of Nigerian leather market did not emerge without challenges. The industry still faces issues related to infrastructure, access to finance, and competition from imported goods. Additionally, there is the need for more investment in technology and innovation to further enhance the quality of leather products and make them more competitive in the global market. Despite these challenges, the future of Nigerian leather products looks bright. There is a growing recognition of the value of locally produced leather goods, both within Nigeria and globally. This is evident in the increasing number of fashion shows and trade fairs dedicated to promoting Nigerian leather products, as well as the rising demand from international buyers. The evolution of Nigerian leather from a utilitarian material to a symbol of high fashion is a testament to the creativity and resilience of the Nigerian artisans. It reflects the broader trend in the global fashion industry towards sustainability and craftsmanship. As the world continues to embrace African fashion, Nigerian leather is poised to become a major player on the international stage, offering a unique blend of tradition, quality, and style. This is just the beginning of what promises to be an exciting new chapter for Nigerian leather.
Welcome back to the World News on Souk News Television. Let's take more stories. Mexico has agreed to return previously reduced flight slots to Mexico City main airport to United States Airlines, a move seen as strengthening regional air connectivity and supporting trade growth. United Airlines confirmed the decision in a regulatory filing following talks with Mexican officials. The development comes after the United States upgraded Mexico's air safety rating earlier this year, restoring confidence in the country's aviation standards. This adjustment is expected to ease operational bottlenecks, align more flights, and improve scheduling for carriers operating between the two countries. Industry observers note that the slot restoration will enhance competition, boost tourism, and encourage greater business travel. Analysts say this step strengthens bilateral economic ties and creates growth opportunities in the aviation sector, benefiting both nations' broader economic cooperation. Investors are anticipating a positive shift in the United States economy as the Federal Reserve prepares to outline its next steps at the Jackson Hole Symposium. Hopes of a September interest rate cut have lifted confidence across market, with analysts highlighting opportunities for growth despite recent tariff challenges. The housing sector is showing renewed momentum, with home builders benefiting from stronger expectations of lower mortgage rates. Banks are also positioned for growth as a steeper yield curve promises wider lending margins, while lower borrowings costs are expected to help small businesses expand operations and strengthen their balance sheet. Retailers and utilities are emerging as key beneficiaries of the policy outlook. Falling treasury yields are boosting utility investment, with growing demand for data centers supporting long-term energy expansion. Meanwhile, resilient consumer spending continues to drive retail sales, positioning the sector for sustained growth as the economy heads into the final quarter of the year. Now, United States Department of Agriculture's decision to shut down the Bestville Agricultural Research Center in Maryland has raised alarms over its potential impact on agricultural innovation and rural economic development. The facility, which spans nearly 7,000 acres, plays a central role in research on crop genetics, pest management, and plant diseases, all of which are essential to sustaining farm productivity and long-term food security. Industry groups and lawmakers warn that forcing scientists to relocate could lead to resignations, disrupt mature research partnerships, and weaken sectors like viticulture, grain production, and sustainable water use. Such disruptions, they argued, could slow the pace of agricultural innovation, reduce competitiveness of U.S. farmers, and strain rural economies that depend on resilient farming practices. Although the USDA cites $500 million in renovation costs and high annual maintenance as reasons for closure, critics highlight the absence of economic studies to justify the plan. Analysts caution that cutting research capacity may save money in the short term, but can impose far greater costs by undermining farm productivity, weakening food supply chains, and reducing the nation's global competitiveness in agriculture. The Trump administration has announced that it is reviewing more than 55 million valid U.S. visa holders for potential violations that could result in deportation. The move is part of a broader crackdown on foreigners illegally permitted to enter or remain in the United States. In a written response to the Associated Press, the State Department confirmed that all visa holders are now subject to continuous vetting. This process involves monitoring tourists, students, and other categories of visitors from across the globe for any signs that could render them ineligible to stay. The policy marks one of the most extensive reviews of visa holders in the United States history. Officials say the system aims to strengthen national security by identifying risks before they escalate. However, critics argue that the sweeping measures may heighten fears among immigrants and international travelers who already face a rigorous screening before entry. The review underscores the administration's hardline stance on immigration and border control. In exciting world of sport, Leeds United have confirmed the signing of Switzerland international Noah Okafor from AC Milan in a deal worth £18 million, taking Premier League clubs' summer transfer spending to a record £2.37 billion. Okafor, 25, has penned a 4-year contract with the newly promoted side, becoming Leeds' 9th addition since their championship-winning campaign secured a top-flight return. The striker, who scored important goals for Milan in Serie A and the Champions League, is expected to add pace, versatility, and finish power to Leeds' attack as they aim to establish themselves back in the Premier League. Speaking after the announcement, Okafor expressed delight at making a move. Playing in the Premier League was my childhood, so this move was a no-brainer. So I am thrilled to join, and my style fits the league's intensity perfectly, he said. Leeds manager Daniel Farke described the transfer as a statement signing, noting Okafor's experience at the highest level and his potential to thrive in England. Okafor's arrival means Premier League clubs have now spent more than previous record in a single transfer window, the £2.36 billion total in the summer of 2023. Burnley's head coach Conor Hourihane has dismissed reports that the Nigerian midfielder Kelechi Nwakali has been sacked by the club, describing the rumours as completely inaccurate. Hourihane clarified during a BBC radio interview, insisting that Nwakali remains contracted to league one side until June 30, 2027. The clarification comes after speculation circulated widely in media, suggesting the Super Eagles midfielder has been released. Hurricane stressed that while Nwakali is not currently his immediate plans, his contract status has not changed. Nwakali, a former Arsenal youth player, has been absent from Burnley's matchday squad throughout the summer. His omission initially stemmed from a delayed return from Nigeria, where he attended to a family matter. However, the absence has now stretched into the new season, with the midfielder missing both pre-season preparations and the club's opening fixtures. Despite uncertainty over his role in the squad, Nwakali remains a Burnley player under contract. And that's a wrap. But before we go, here are the top headlines. The Minister of Solid Minerals and Development has said Nigeria's mining sector is among Africa's top investment destinations. Nigerian Ports Authority has unveiled plans to commence a $1 million reconstruction project for aging Apapa Port. German government rejects Palestinian recognition, backs negotiated peace framework. Immigration authorities in U.S. reviews 55 million visa holders under the new vetting policy for possible violation. And in the world of sport, Leeds United confirmed signing of Switzerland international Noah Okafor from AC Milan in a deal worth £18 million. Many thanks for watching. Do follow us on all our social media platforms at Souk News Television. I am Olumide Shokoya. Thanks for watching.